Is there anything more ridiculed and dismissed, in general than prayer? You see people on social media after an event happens or whatever it may be will, at least say in their posts, thoughts and prayers. And then immediately you have the cynical mob come and attack that person and say that prayers, they don't work. They're not enough. You need action. These are superstitions. And it's interesting there's a lot of truth coming through on social media and news outlets. But there needs to be a formula applied to the information coming through to get to that truth, at least approximately, and that is multiply by -1. So a lot of times when something is banned, there's this thing called the Streisand effect. When something is banned, there's more attention that's brought to it. So a lot of things that you see being banned, whether it's, Hunter Biden's laptop or recently this Ukraine on fire video, it kind of can point you towards where something approximating the truth is located. Doesn't work all the time, but as a rule, I think it's something to generally follow. But the reason I jumped on here is to do a quick reading from St. Paisios, Spiritual Awakening. I think it's volume 2. And I'm just going to read a quick short commentary on prayer. And this is located in part 5 of the book, and it's Spiritual Weapons. And there's a quote. It says, "When someone is pained over the prevailing condition of the world today and prays fervently, then people can be helped without infringement upon their free will." So the first spiritual tool and a spiritual weapon in terms of the spiritual warfare that we're in, according to the great Saint Paisios, is prayer. And let's read a little bit here. This will be kind of short, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts on prayer are, how it's affected your life. Both, and if you don't pray, I'd like to hear the reasons why, and I think that'd be interesting. All right, chapter 1, part 5 here. Prayer is a powerful weapon. It says much prayer is needed. In the past, in order to do something, a worldly person would think. If he were a spiritual person, he would think and pray. In our time, even quote-unquote spiritual people not only don't pray, they don't think. In fact, this frequently involves serious matters. And all they do is practice on people. I got the light coming in here. There you go. In all circumstances, before we act, we should say, have I thought about this? Have I prayed about this? When someone acts without thinking and without praying, he acts satanically. And you often see many Christians acting in a way that doesn't allow God to intervene. They may imagine that they can manage everything by themselves, whereas even an unbeliever may say on occasion, God will provide. The believer won't. Someone may have strong objections, for example, to the carnival and try to attack it directly, whereas he can pray to God will pour down such hail that it will scatter everyone and cancel every activity. Or let's say some people criticize a bishop and others make an appeal to the Council of State. But they don't even stop there. They go on to have demonstrations, disturbances, articles in the newspapers, an endless array of human efforts to leave no room for God to act. They don't resort to prayer, for God to respond through prayer. With humility and prayer, all the seemingly unsolvable problems can be corrected. Today we live in apocalyptic times. It doesn't take a prophet to understand this. Things are moving fast. What awaits us, we don't know. That a crisis is coming is clear from the current situation. And this is one more reason why we must now rely more on prayer and fight evil with prayer. This is the only situation. This is the only solution. We must appeal to God to have mercy on his creation, although we are unworthy of his pity. There will be no end to the problems. Everyone will do whatever comes into his head. What St. Cosmas said will take place, quote, "One will walk for hours to find a human being, and those who survive will be eating with golden spoons." Of course, some think, quote, since the prophecies will be fulfilled anyway, what's the use of prayer? God sees events unfolding in this manner, but we still pray for some evil to be less harmful and to be limited in scope. That's why it is written in the gospel, for the elect's sake, those who shall be shortened. Those days shall be shortened. For example, in a war, a miracle takes place through the power of prayer. More people are saved. There are fewer casualties, in which case people are helped spiritually. Believe and are transformed in the good sense of the term. The situation is serious. It is a miracle that the world is still here and hasn't been blown to pieces. May God put his hand upon the world and save it. For the whole world depends on 3 to 4 individuals. The fate of the world is in the hands of a few madmen. The proverb says, the horses kick and the chickens die. That's how it is. When the great countries fight each other, it's the small countries that suffer injustices. The large nations kick each other and the small ones are destroyed. Much prayer is needed to enlighten the great leaders of the world. For if they want to, they can destroy the world. God can give them a little enlightenment very easily. If God enlightens, someone can give an order and everything changes. All right, so some quick words on prayer, again, from St. Paisios. Would love to hear what you think, especially those that, don't pray, or if this interests you, I'd love to just hear your response. I'll be back soon with another video. God bless.